right, welcome to video 4 in the beginner series, right? Now, we talked about a couple paths, which was G and C for chords, right? And then we talked about these were single finger chords, right? G, here's a G, here's a C, but we can't use all the strings, but it's easier because it's one finger. And we just added big chunk, right? We can hit every string. That's a plus, right? Makes it easier, but we also have to move more than one finger. It's a little tougher. So there's trade-offs to both. No matter what, we're going to need to be able to do both, but I would think that for most people this might almost be too easy at first. Like I said, this is typically for the kids approach, and we're going to be doing bigger versions of G and C coming up. So we did 2 fingers, and then we shifted them to another set of strings, right? We went over a set of strings, not down. I already explained why. Watch the last video, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to add a finger this time. Now, when I said 2 paths in the last video segment, here's what I mean. When we did this one finger, right? We could say that that's chords and we're ready for single notes. Or we could say we're ready for harder chords. Okay, when we get to the harder chords, we can either say that we're going to continue on with the harder chords or maybe take scales and put them to it. The answer is we're going to do all of them, okay? So the premise when practicing, right? It's never been our job to teach people how to play an instrument. It's been our job to teach them how to practice it, because all of the work really happens at home. What you come to us for historically, and obviously we're still teaching online, so come ask us questions. We'll be sure to get back to you. What you're doing is you're coming for the advice on how to do it better, not the what to do, okay? I have for years said it's not the what, it's the how and the why, okay? I can tell you that this is an E minor chord, but so can anyone or anything ever, because it's just a fact, okay? A fact is a thing that you can write down on paper and it's held true 100% of the time. What is not true 100% of the time? I just said that we could play G and C to start out, and that could be a path. Or we can do E minor and A sus just like we did, and that could be a path. Or we could do single notes, which I just showed a little bit of, and we're going to do, right? So how do you know which one to do? The answer is you can't pick a wrong one just yet. Okay? Typically, the one you want to go after is the hardest one. Okay? Now, write it down if you gotta. Okay? Here's the way I have put it for a while. There's a book that was called "If You Don't Have Time to Do It Right, When Will You Have Time to Do It Over?" Okay? So, what you do is you focus on a main area, drill it down. Now, another book title that I loved, "Eat That Frog." And it came from the statement that if you eat a live frog first thing in the morning, if you eat a live frog first thing in the morning, nothing worse will happen all day. Okay? So the answer to how you practice is you practice correctly. If you don't have time to do it right, when will you do it over? Slowly, which leads to correctly, okay? I cannot begin to tell you how many people I have seen. I'll say, they'll do this. No, oops, oh, okay, we got, oops. And I'll say slow down, and they'll say, okay, oops. Now, when I say slow, I mean if you're not uncomfortable with the amount of slow, you're probably not doing it right, okay? It is not going to fit into your natural skill set at first. And you never play the easy thing like it's easy, because then it's going to make you play the hard thing like it's hard. Here's what I mean. If I do 1, 2, 3, 4. Crap, where was my fit? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. You already did it wrong. And we've discussed this in other videos. There is no more important thing than notes and beats. That is music. But betwixt the two, between them, beats is more important. If you can keep a solid beat, you are on your way to becoming a good musician. If you can play some notes but can't keep a beat, you are nowhere near being a musician. If for no other reason than nobody else can follow you. The point behind having a beat is so other people can also relate to what's going on, whether it's dancing, whether it's physically playing along with you, singing, it doesn't matter. You have to be the provider of the beat. Okay? So, with that out of the way, we've also discussed finger placement. Now this holds true still. You get as close to the metal bar as you can possibly be without being on top of it. If you're on top of it, it's going to throw more food. Here. Okay. If you're too far back, it is going to be almost impossible to push. And I will do a demonstration of that on another video. This is the crash course ones, right? Okay. So now that we've done 2 fingers here, we're going to add a finger. Okay, now this is still my E minor chord, right? 5th string, 4th string. Now on the 3rd string, on its own string, because you cannot have a finger behind another finger and hear it, okay? I'm pressing on the 4th string right now and also playing the 4th string. Do you hear a difference? No, because the only thing that matters is what's closest to this side, okay? You're only going to hear this. Now, that doesn't mean you don't ever put other fingers down. Okay, in this case I am not doing this because that would be terrible. My fingers are staying down. You see that, right? Okay. Okay. Having your fingers down is very useful. So there are going to be things where I'm going to have you put more than 1 finger on a string at a time. But for right now, we're doing chords. Chords is a group of notes, and we need to hear those notes at the same time. It will do you no good to play behind your other fingers. Be sure to watch that. Why do you think I'm bringing that part up? It's because I've seen it thousands upon thousands of times. Literally seen it thousands of times. I've taught, as I've mentioned in another video, about 25,000 lessons. 25,000, that is a real number. Didn't make that up. Real number. 15 years. Full time, never had less than 40 students in a week for the most part. So even if it was only 10 years at 50 weeks, right? And 40 students, that's like 2,000 a year times 10 years, that's 20,000. But I went 15 years, plus I've rarely had as few as 40. So, okay, back to this. Keep your finger on its own string, 3rd string. And then we're going to take that whole shape, the whole thing, and move it across the strings again. Now remember, it's not down, it's across, and I already told you why. We can't have too many ups and downs. This is just across. Okay, so what you do is you move from the 5th, 4th, and 3rd string to the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string, which gives you A minor. I personally like the sound of starting with A minor better. To E. But you can do it either way. Remember, keep a steady beat. Don't let it slow down when you change strings. Don't let it slow down, right? Not. Okay, nobody needs to know that you're having a hard time with the chord, okay? And I've already told you the solution for that. If it's too hard to do fast, you're doing it too fast. Now, this is why I'm putting this stuff in a video. If you ever have a question about what went wrong, go back and watch the video because I just told you several times, and I'm going to say it again throughout this course, right? If it's too hard to play, you're not doing it right. You're just not. Some of it will take some effort, and some of it you just kind of have to force yourself through. Slow is not a thing you have to force yourself through. It's a thing you have to remember and just suck it up and deal with. That's just how it's going to work. You have to play slowly, accurately, to a beat. That is more important. Now, if you can do it fast, great. If you can't do it fast, stop doing it fast for a minute. Speed comes from accuracy. Accuracy comes from attention to detail. Attention to detail means you need to have the time to pay attention to the detail. Ta-da! Thank you. Okay, so A minor. 1, 2, 3. No pause as we move our fingers. See how I moved them all as a unit? Okay? Every single thing. In fact, so it would be this chord, and then when I move them, they all move over. Now, did you see that? Everything moves at the same time. I had to double check that there. Perfect. Everything moves back. Everything moves back. Same time. Keep your fingers tight to one another, right? I've got 2 fingers touching right here. That's how we move them, especially when we're doing the 2s, right? See, this isn't hard, but you have, you have to keep them tight to one another. Now look, this is going to touch as well. It's just going to touch way back here, okay? We didn't make it not touch. It's still moving as a unit, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. So, as already mentioned, rkstrs.com/free guitar, okay? That is our free guitar course. It's all of these videos plus PDFs plus backing tracks. You can learn it right. Why? I've already told you. Hopefully you're going to like us well enough to stick around. Number 2, I'm tired of saying this stuff. So if you have a place where you can just watch them a whole bunch until you get it, then that means hopefully you're going to have better questions when you come to us, right? We're online. We're going to be doing tons of live events. We're easy to find, okay? We do obviously offer some more advanced courses and stuff as well, but everything that is, as far as I'm concerned, the basics can and should be free, and I want for people to get a firm grounding, okay? Now, what did we do here? We did the same thing we did a second ago, which is we took a shape and moved it across the strings. That is one of the things that we can do. It is one of the very important things that we can do, okay? Guitar is going to be based around shapes. Now, that being said, we're going to add one more very, very, very simple shape in the next lesson, and that will be yet another Insta song, okay? See you in the next one.